shouldn't I have done that?
It's perfect. Nailed it. What's up, everybody? It's Dave Nielsen with the Momentum Real Estate Advisors of Kevin Williams. I'm joined today by my longtime mortgage life partner,
Ed Mohan.
Ed Mohan. Give me more than Ed Mohan. Ed Mohan.
Ed Mohan with CIBM Bank.
Awesome. Perfect. So Ed and I, you and I, I'm talking to you.
Yes.
You and I were talking about things that buyers should do to prepare for buying, right? We came up with a list of 4.
Mm-hmm.
I thought these made a lot of sense. We've worked with a lot of buyers over time. I think all of them either needed this advice or used this advice. So what's number 1? I'm preparing to buy a house. What's the first thing I should do?
The very first thing you should do is be able to understand your credit.
Credit.
Knowing what your credit score is, how you pay your bills, and how that affects your ability to buy a home. The first thing I would do is to reach out to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion and get a copy of my credit report.
Right.
They can send you a copy of your credit report for free, so it's vital to know what is in your credit and that and where it falls in terms of a score. Because scoring is going to dictate whether or not you can get a conventional mortgage or have to get an FHA mortgage, which is going to allow you a little bit less in terms of a credit score. Mm-hmm. You can go down as low as 580 with some lenders, and us included.
Right. So I heard a couple of different things there. You said there are 3 sources you could go to. You know what one I didn't hear? Credit Karma.
Don't talk to Credit Karma. Their algorithms are calculated in a different way where they're not really giving a accurate credit score as to what the 3 main credit repositories do. So deal with the actual credit repositories. Credit Karma is really not a good, viable source to determine what your credit score is. We see too many ranges that are, 150 points different than what their actual scores are with the 3 main repositories.
Got it. All right, so that's a free bonus tip there for you. What's the second thing that buyers need to do?
Second thing buyers need to do is understand your budget. What do you spend your money on a monthly basis? Take a look through your bank statements and categorize what you're spending your money on. Mm-hmm. Know, whether or not you like to go on vacations, how much you like to spend on those. How often do you go out to eat? Where is your amount of money that you can allocate towards a home mortgage? And, looking and analyzing your budget should allow you to come up with a number where you feel comfortable making a mortgage payment and not sacrificing everything, so you're not just living for your mortgage every month or working for your mortgage every month.
Right. So that's so understanding your budget, obviously very important. There are some funds that I need in advance and post-closing too. So number 3.
Liquid assets. Where's your money going to come from for the down payment? Are there down payment assistance programs that I may be able to qualify? A lot of those are dependent upon what your level of income is. And then post-closing reserves. Are you going to have money in the bank after you buy your home in case of emergency? And we never like to instruct buyers to empty their wallet and put all of their money down on a home and not have any money in reserves. So we always want to make sure that you have enough money after you purchase your home in case there's a boiler, in case there's an opportunity where you're out of work for a period of time and you're waiting on that TDI check to come in to make your mortgage payment. You want to have a couple of months, maybe 2 or 3 months worth of your mortgage payment in a reserve account where you have access to easily that can make your mortgage payment on time until things get rectified.
Perfect. All right, so funds, reserves, down payment. What's next? What's tip number 4?
Understanding your debt. Does it make sense to pay down debt in order to get yourself ready to buy a home? Maybe sometimes yes, maybe sometimes no. It depends to each individual, and I always say people have their own fingerprint, right? Mm-hmm. You may have $3,000 in credit card debt, and you may think that's a ton. That may not be the case. In our eyes, we want to see how people manage their debt. If they've got a $3,000 credit card and they're paying $75 a month on it, but their credit limit's $20,000, they're managing their credit properly.
Sure.
And we may not need them to pay down that credit card. However, if someone's got $25,000 in credit card debt, now we may want to talk to them about trying to figure out a way to consolidate some of that debt. Whether it's going out and getting an installment loan to consolidate credit card into one payment or one debt structure with a much less monthly payment than what the combination of those credit cards would be.
Right.
So understanding your debt, student loan debt factors into that as well. Now that student loan payments are in repayment, there's not as many loans that are on deferment. How that is going to impact your ability to qualify. A lot of people right now are just coming off of that deferment.
Right.
And we want to see that they know that they've got the ability to qualify carrying $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 worth of student loan debt. So
Right.
understanding your debt, determining what you might want to concentrate on paying down or paying off before you buy a home, those conversations really need to be had with a mortgage individual that understands where you're going to qualify and what needs to be done in order to make yourself
Right.
an approved borrower.
You know what I didn't hear you say?
What didn't I say?
I need to pay down all of my debt.
No, not
That-
necessary.
Yeah, it's a huge misconception that we hear out there is, oh, I've got to pay down all my credit cards.
Yeah.
So just so I can hear it from you, that's something I should do or not do.
Yeah, I wouldn't say do anything like that until you speak to someone.
Right.
Assets, in the bank may be more valuable to you than paying down a short amount of debt. So you definitely, want to look at it both ways. But in my eyes, I want to see assets in the bank because you're going to need to buy a home. You're going to need a down payment. Where those money is going to come from. We have debt ratio structures that we abide by. As long as your mortgage payment doesn't exceed a threshold of, 43% for a conventional loan, you're in decent shape.
Mm-hmm.
A small amount of credit card debt beyond that may not be, an issue for you to qualify.
Right.
So I sometimes, and it's dependent upon each person,
Of course.
would like to see more money in savings than emptying that to pay down debt and then not having any of that asset.
Right. So we just talked about 4 things that you should do to prepare for buying a house. If there's really one thing to do, it's talk to a mortgage professional.
Absolutely.
So Ed, if anybody watching this wants to talk to you, how do they find you?
Ed Mohan at CIBM Bank. You can reach me at 401-226-8492. My email address is ed.mohan@cibmbank.com.
Perfect. And if you guys need to get in touch with me about anything, hit me up on my text line. It's 401-205-3456. We'll hear from you soon.